Hi friends, it's Miss Adelia. So today we're going to be talking about honeybees and pollinating flowers. So a bunch of different insects can pollinate flowers, but honeybees are the ones that do it to make honey, obviously. So I'm going to read this story and then we're going to do a little experiment so we can kind of see what the pollen looks like. So I'll read this story and then we'll do that afterwards. So this story is called Honeybees and Flowers, and it's by Lola M. Schaefer. But this doesn't have an illustrator on it because these pictures are real pictures. So these aren't drawn, these are actual pictures of honeybees. So it only has an author. So she wrote the words. Honeybees visit flowers. Honeybees gather nectar from flowers. Do you remember the video that Miss Becca showed you about the butterfly and their little tongue that they use to drink the nectar? Honeybees gather pollen from flowers. Do you see the pollen right there? That's what we're going to be talking about. Pollen is kind of yellow and dusty. Honeybees carry pollen from flower to flower, and they pollinate flowers. Pollen helps other flowers grow. So you see all that pollen on that bee? Honeybees take nectar and pollen back to the hive. They're carrying it back to their hive to make honeybees store nectar and pollen in honeycombs. See, there's the nectar inside of it and the pollen. And you can see the little honeycomb. And all those bees. Honeybees dance on the honeycomb. It's a lot of bees. The dance shows other honeybees where the flowers are. Do you see the sunflowers? Then other honeybees will visit the flowers. So they go and visit the flowers and then they get pollen and nectar to make honey in their honeycombs. So what we're going to do is we're going to see what happens when I have two flowers. So I'm going to put pollen on one flower and then honeybees go and they visit multiple flowers. So if there's only pollen on one flower and then they visit the other flower, what do you think could happen? So my pollen is going to be yellow and dusty. So what I have for pollen is cheese from macaroni and cheese, because that's the only yellow dusty thing I have. So that's what we're going to use. I should have taken it out of my box first, but I did not. So I'm just going to use this. So my flower is going to have some pollen on it. And I'll pick it up and I'll show you. So I put some pollen on my flower, and this one doesn't have any. So let's see if I can balance it. Oh. My phone does not balance again. There we go. And I have a pipe cleaner that I cut in half. So it's like the bumblebee's legs. So I'm going to wrap that around my finger and give him some feet. So now I have a bumblebee on my little finger. We're gonna call my finger my bumblebee, with some legs. So what do you think is going to happen? I have my cheese on that flower for my pollen, and then my little bumblebee legs. So I'm going to have my little bumblebee fly over, and he's going to land right on there. And it said, what do they do when they're on the flowers? They kind of dance around, right? Do, do, do. So he's all on that pollen. And then if you look close, what happened? Got all on those legs, and then it flies over and lands right on another flower and dances around. So I'm gonna take it up, we can look. So pollen went from one flower to another flower. So it moves, even though this flower didn't have any pollen. And when the bee moved from the purple flower over to the pink flower, it pollinated it, right? So bees help pollinate all different kinds of flowers. So it helps them grow and it helps make honey. It's pretty cool, right? So I hope you liked the video and I hope you learned a lot about bees, and I will see you soon, friends. Okay, bye.